All right, talking growth. We back. It's Coach Shig. You dig? Um, so we had trouble with the last live. We're trying to get our guest on. So hopefully this one is a little bit better. We're here to talk about the importance of personal development. Shout out to everybody that came through. Shout out to y'all coming back. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And let's this time. Is it not letting you join? What is it? I wonder what's it saying. Cause I can see the. Is it because of the fundraiser? Ooh, can't be because of the fundraiser. There we go. We're in. We're in.
We did it.
We did it. We did it. We did it. The importance of personal development with Miss Marie. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great now that I'm here. How are you
That's
doing?
great. That's great. I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine as well. So where are you calling from?
I'm in Lafayette, Louisiana, so probably like 2 hours from New Orleans.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. What's the weather like out there?
It's hot. It's always
Hot.
hot.
Always. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's
Yeah.
such a difference. I'm in California, so it's such a difference. Like just the whole everything almost weather-wise. I've been there one time. But it was more towards New Orleans. I think I forgot what city it was, but it was kind of close to New Orleans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
California is beautiful. I can see why you stay there. It's a beautiful state. Great
Real
weather.
expensive. Real expensive.
Everybody wants to be there.
Right. Shoot. Everybody out here wants to go out there. It's so funny. It's so funny. So talk about what type of coaching you do, because I seen on the page that you do some type of I seen creative, like you're helping people discover that creative side again. So could you go in a little detail about that?
Yeah, great. That's a great question. So I have an accreditation with Ontological Coaching, which is the idea that the way we show up is derived from three like domains, like how we show up in our body, how we show up in our language, and how we show up in our moods and
Okay.
our emotions. And all of those are kind of interconnected. If you think of like a Venn diagram with the circles that kind of overlap, in the
Right.
middle is how you show up. And the great thing about that is when you shift one of those domains, you shift everything because they're all interrelated. So there's
Hmm.
many ways to kind of shift how you're showing up and making things work for you to kind of get the life that you want. And part of that is like creativity in living, fluidity in living, kind of helping you have less speed bumps as you move through life. And I'm also an artist and creative person, like went to school for graphic design. I paint murals now.
Oh wow.
So I have a background in a lot of the language that creative people use.
Right.
And a lot,
Right. Okay.
yeah, like starving artists. And, there's a lot of language we use that sometimes we're not even aware of.
What do you mean by that? Could you go in a little more detail about that? Like that one went over my head.
Yeah, so like I would say starving artist is a pretty common uh, social meme we kind of toss around a lot, like a way we understand how artists uh, should operate in the world. Like
Right.
I don't know if you're an artist or you have friends that are artists. If that's something that comes up for you, there's often uh, a lot of breakdowns with artists asking their worth on the front end.
Right.
Not everybody. Some people are very good at asking for what they want to be paid. Um,
Right.
so part of that is supporting artists in feeling confident in having those conversations when they're, you know, commissioning artwork, a client's commissioning artwork from them. And
Okay.
yeah, just exploring that stuff. Because everybody has different hangups, you know?
Right.
We all come from different places.
What do you feel like is the most common? Because I actually am an artist myself, and those times where it's like, do I just give up? Do I just like, is this not really like good enough, or like, do I continue to like, do I continue to do this, or should I just start doing something else? Like, what do you feel like is the most common thing that people go through as far as like what troubles them to what do you think prevents people from getting that creative edge that they know that they have?
And this is my personal opinion. I think self-doubt is a big component,
Right.
negative self-talk. What are some
Right.
of the things that come up for you, if that's okay for you to share?
Yeah, no,
You're comfortable
no,
here.
that's probably it. That's probably it. It's like maybe self-doubt a little bit, maybe like for me personally, it's like it's taken longer than what I would have thought, you know. So it's like that's kind of like, wow, okay, like, well, maybe, you know, it's that feeling, oh, well, I should be up here, you know what I mean? But it's like, you know, it's a process to get up here, you know, and it's like you have to kind of, what I'm learning is you have to kind of be, you have to be happy with the process. You have to enjoy the process because, you know, I feel like a lot of people who just kind of maybe reach a plateau pretty quickly, you know, they're not really, a lot of them aren't really ready for it, you know. So it's like some people might have some quick success or something like that, and then they, you know, throughout the time, like people win the lotto or something like that. Somebody win the lotto, and then, you know, you hear all those stories. They go broke in 5 years. It's like, you know, probably because they weren't before they won the lotto. They weren't, you know, you might have been broke and just won the lotto and just went crazy instead of like really learning how to take care of yourself, take care of the money and everything like that. So yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like self-doubt is probably big. Probably it's probably the highest, honestly.
Yeah, and some of that for me too is like the self-doubt, but also the feeling like you have to know how to do the thing before you put yourself out there for that. Like,
Oh,
um,
right, right,
you know, like I feel like I have to be able to paint a photorealistic painting before I can try and do that in mural form instead of just getting the commission,
right,
designing the piece, enlisting help of people that I can learn from while we're doing it, you know, and
right,
then get
right,
it done. And then you have a portfolio piece of a huge photorealistic wall, you know, like
right,
sometimes
really.
we when I say we, I mean me, uh, like
Right, no,
um,
you're good.
can hold ourselves back from like really living our full potential by these kind of conversations we have with ourselves, these like limiting beliefs we have about ourselves,
Right,
based on like how we think we should show up in society, like what's acceptable. And the thing I'm learning more and more every day is that there's no right way. The right way
right,
is what works for me. So like there's no right, there's no wrong. There's only what works for me and does not work for me. And it kind of takes some of the pressure off, which is helpful
how does
for
one
me.
organize those thoughts? How does one because, you know, you have to have some sense of organization skills to really like kind of for me, I need to like I've been realizing I need to see what I'm like planning and what I'm envisioning, because I'll kind of I'll get lost in like, you know, I want to do this, and it's like, but I don't, I haven't written it down, so it's no plan, so it's like you're just kind of almost scrambling. And then it's like the worst side effect to that, I feel like, is you know, all this scrambling because you want to do so much, and then you end up doing nothing, you know. And then it kind of just like repeats and repeats. So what I felt like has helped me a lot is really writing down things. And a lot of people told me, "Oh, write it down," and it was something that I'm like, you know, I really, I'm like, I know it all in here. Like, I don't need to write it down, but it actually like helps to see it. And like when you really accomplish things that you wrote down, it's kind of a like a like a nostalgic feeling. Like, I don't know, like, yeah, you know what? I did it. Like, I did everything on my list. I'm happy. And then that's kind of like enjoying the process as well. Like, you know, um, I want a lot of things that I do, like professional, like ready and like, you know, but you have to indulge and, ask questions. I feel like a lot of people like are afraid to, reach out for that, advice or that coaching or, like that type of help. How important do you think coaching is in any field that you're in?
I think like you're talking about organizing thoughts, and I think coaching is a great way to do that in a safe space. So like, you know, if you're talking about career stuff or trying to get your thoughts together for a big job, you have a presentation or something that you want to
Right.
present to people in a professional way. A coach is a great way to have conversations to kind of organize those thoughts so you come off looking really professional and like you know what you're talking about. And
Right.
also, you
Right.
know,
Exactly.
manage moods like anxiety and things that might come up for you when you're talking in presentations or pitching to a client or have a project that you know, even putting art in like a gallery. Some people, it's really hard for them to like have a conversation with somebody and take feedback. So coaches
Right.
are
Right.
great safe spaces for that.
What is,
Some people also use friends, but coaches tend to
right.
have some
Right.
different ways
What
of looking
is,
at things.
have you had any negative, reaction to like, the coaching thing? I feel like, you know, I'm just kind of getting into the space and, it's I don't know I like the beginning challenges of the coaching. You get a lot of, you know, I don't need coaching and all of that type of stuff. I don't need who are you to tell me, you know, that type of stuff. Like what are some challenges maybe early on that you had, during your journey of doing coaching?
Um, Coaching for me, like when I first started, so I transitioned into coaching from like staffing and effective living seminar, like myself going through the seminar. It was called Education for Living, and it used
Right.
the ontology structure, which has been really helpful for me. And progressing through that, then staffing that, and then we had an 18-month coaching course that was like really
Oh,
in
wow.
depth, hands on coaching that was very helpful. Lots
Right.
of
Right. Yeah,
demonstrations, lots of
absolutely.
presentations. It was like school kind of. And a lot of the people that were in this course were older than me. They were established professionals. So I had a lot of personal struggles feeling like I was good enough to be in the group kind of because I was much younger than
Right.
everyone. Um, and I did realize that by the end of it, I realized I could do all the things that everybody else did. I showed up,
Right.
I, you know, was helpful for people, getting feedback from people. And I learned that as a coach, I'm not supposed to have all the answers for anyone. Like people
Right.
have the answers already. Like
Right.
you already have the answers for your life. You know exactly what you want, exactly what you need to be
Right.
happy. I don't know that. I don't know you that well. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so coaching's more about questions, to kind of just open up and sometimes just having people say out loud what those things are because sometimes they're
Right.
hidden and they hide them. We hide them from ourselves.
What do you feel like are some negative, things that like what happened to somebody if you do hide those feelings, if you do, because a lot of people and that's how I kind of used to be as well, like more closed off, like, you know, I can say some bad things for me is that it was always, tense, you know, everything is like tense at some point, like it's there's really no peace, you know.
Yeah.
How important is peace, uh how important is having peace, um my bad, to your journey, like, you know, like if you're coaching, if you're, even if you're just going through it, how important is it to find the peace? There it is, that's what I'm looking for, to find the peace.
Well, so the I've been going through some moods of life, what we call the moods of life. It's 6 moods, and it
Right.
kind of sounds like what you're. And there's like facticity, possibility, uncertainty, and then you can accept or oppose those things. And
Right.
each of those actions will breed a mood. So like, it kind of sounds like you were maybe opposing a facticity and you were really angry about it. Sounds like resentment a little bit.
Right,
And then
right,
the accepting facticity is peace, the mood of peace. So
right.
that doesn't mean you're happy about things, but as far as peace in a coaching situation,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very clear that nobody is broken. Like, we're all human
Right,
beings. Nobody's a clock or a machine.
right,
Like, it's
right,
impossible for humans to be broken
right.
unless you're
I
like
don't
a
like that
broken
term.
heart.
People use that. People use that term. I've heard that. Oh, I'm broken. I don't like that term.
Yeah.
That's such an ugly term. I feel like.
It's completely inaccurate unless you're talking about a leg, you know?
Right, right, right,
You know,
right,
and as humans, if we're biological beings, so like if you think about a plant, plants grow, humans grow. You start out real
right,
tiny, you get bigger, you learn
right,
things, you adapt. Um, and that piece in coaching conversations is, I've had to practice like detaching, like we call it compassionate detachment. So like, I can't do anything you don't want to do. You're a grown ass man,
right, right.
I'm
Period.
here to be of service to you and ask you some questions that hopefully will bring forth some fruitful exploration for you that will be helpful in
Right,
you designing the life that you're really happy with, that really serves you in your purpose.
right,
But if you want to like be a poo poo pants, that's not my problem. Like,
right. And that's
I
so
sleep
important
fine.
to. It's so important. I feel like when you're doing coaching, not to absorb the energy of the other party. Some people can be maybe so negative to where it's like, I can't really, if I was to do something for you, then I probably would stress myself out so hard because I feel like people, you have to, in coaching clients, the clients have to be one accepting to it. Like it can't be something that it's like, oh, I'm just doing this because, maybe, my sister or something told me to do coaching. So here I am, like, you know what I mean? And you're not really accepting the process. How important
Yeah.
is it not to absorb people's energy, when doing something like this?
Um, so like, this is kind of funny. I think it's just funny because I was a bartender for 6 years in the French Quarter in New Orleans. So
Okay.
like the underpaid psychiatrist, right? So like, I feel for people. I really do. I would assess myself to be a very compassionate person. Like, when people are in pain, I definitely feel that.
Right.
And I do feel it. And I think like, I'm trying to phrase it in a way like, are you say like, I know that I can only do so much. I'm going to do as much as I
Right.
can
Right.
to the best of my ability. And I know
Right.
that it's not up to, like, I can't save anybody unless it's
Right.
like, I mean, I can work towards a goal in partnership
Hmm.
with people. Um, and I can be ambitious about certain things. And it really depends on like, you know, I want to work with people that want to be there. I want to work with people. If somebody's
Right.
like trying to work through, uh, like, like a death in the family or something that's really heavy,
Right.
I'm okay with that.
Right.
That's something I feel I hold space for very well. Um, and I can feel for that person, and I feel like I can support them in a real way. And when we end our conversation, um, I take a little time to like think on it, and then I kind of
Right.
just have to let it go.
That's perfect. That's perfect because a lot of times sometimes these clients, I've had a client who was they had a girlfriend situation and they were really really depressed about the whole thing. I was like, shout out to the comments. What they said: people have to believe in themselves. I can't fight harder than you for your own dream. I'm just here to assist. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. You have to believe in yourself. You have to fight for yourself Because if you don't fight for yourself, then, it's not much I can do. It's not much that I can do.
Yeah.
How did your journey of coaching start? Like, where did this begin? I know you said you were doing the bartending. So where did you transition to let me do coaching?
Well, I had a pretty toxic lifestyle being a bartender, and I didn't, I had just a very negative connotation of what I was doing. I felt like I was poisoning people, not really helping people. I mean, I worked in the
Right.
French Quarter. People get pretty messed up.
Right.
And just saw a lot of what that can bring out of people, and myself. Like, I wasn't treating myself well. I wasn't taking care of myself. And I'd started doing these seminars around ontology, which is the language, the body, moods and emotions, and that all works together to frame how we show up in life. So
Okay.
I was practicing those things for myself, and then I started staffing. So I started having like group relationships where it was kind of like coaching, because you had like a group of 5 people that you would like be in relationship with and have to manage agreements and all kinds of stuff that was going on
Okay.
with the seminar. And then so the coaching was just like taking that to the next level, of just much larger distinctions and more in-depth information about, instead of just language, it becomes actions we take in language. So, that's making requests, that's assessments and assertions, which we look at as like facts and opinions,
Right.
which we have a tendency to confuse a lot of the times, like
Right.
thinking an opinion is actually a fact.
Right.
Like with our friends, with our family, even in society in general, it's really amazing how groomed you are to like think that this is just how it is. This is a fact, when it's really like an opinion.
Right. Right. Some people would be like, this is my truth. It's like that may be what you feel, but that may not be what's really going on. Like,
Yeah, and that's true for
golly.
you, and that's fine, but it's not true for everyone. Like, you might think that you just poop rose petals, but not a reality for me. And then there's
Right.
like
Right.
declarations, which is where you say the words and the reality follows. Like, I am a amazing artist that puts myself out there and makes money really easily. Money just flows to me, no problem. And
Right.
saying those things kind of generates the reality you want. Kind of like putting that out. And then another big action we always forget about with language is listening. How important, because we listen through all of those filters too.
I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
Got a little critter in here. Have to let this person out, let the guy out, let him out, let him out. I have to free the critter, free the critter.
Very important.
So how long have you actually been doing the coaching? Like, how long has this been, how long has this been working for you?
So, like, I got my accreditation in October, and I was doing like coaching before them between members and like pro bono for like friends or referrals just to get my hours. And then I've been doing some as I've moved forward. I'm in the process of putting a workshop together as like an intro.
Oh, okay. What kind of
To
workshop?
ontology. I'm sorry?
What kind of workshop?
So it's like an introductory level into kind of ontology with a creativity spin to it. So like perspective of artists, but like touching on language that we use and some tools in that, touching on moods and emotions, which can be really powerful.
Okay.
And even though they seem simple, sometimes the simple stuff isn't always easy,
Right, right.
And then like some ways, some tools that like with your body. So you have your body and your posture, but also your breathing that we don't always think about.
Right.
and ways that you can kind of use that for your benefit in showing up the way you want.
What kind of how does breathing help? Like that's kind of new for me. I know that you know my sister, she did yoga, and she was like what did she say, that they were you had to hold your breath for 6 seconds, let it go for 6 seconds, something like that, you
That
know.
was like resonance breathing.
Right, like,
Yeah.
and so I've been trying to do that just like on the normal. I'm like, it's so hard to do, you know.
It's
So
helpful
what
to have it's helpful to have music with it. Like I'm sure you could do it like breathing with music, which
right,
helps
right.
sometimes. Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. I'm
I'm
sorry, we got a
sorry, I didn't
little
mean to interrupt
ferret.
you.
Little ferret.
Hey, that's so cool. What's
That's
your ferret's
very
name?
his name. This is Momo.
Momo.
Yes,
So
indeed.
cool.
So let's see. Let me check my list. I had a list of questions. We pretty much covered a lot. Let's see.
And I was worried we wouldn't have enough to talk about.
Oh yeah, no. It's just, you know, it's I usually keep questions, but I really kind of just like to let the interviews just kind of go like naturally, you know, just just the vibe, you know. It's I think it's important for people to see just great energy going back and forth, you know.
Yeah. And like you were asking me about the coaching too. And like when I see opportunities that maybe coaching would be helpful for someone, I make the offer to them, and it's
Right.
kind of open-ended, and you can really not force anybody to do anything. When they're ready, they can come and be like, hey, you remember that coaching thing? I want to try
Right.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost like you got to leave stamps in people's head, you know, like I find it usually, you know, most times people don't want coaching. They don't, they want it, but they don't feel like they need it, you know. So, you know, just leaving that stamp in their head, and then, you know, usually they kind of come back, hey, do you still, you know, could you still help out on this and that? Like, you know, perfect. Um, gosh, let me see. So we got to load that too as well. Let's see. What do we have here? We pretty much covered everything on the questions.
Look at us. We did
Along.
so well. A plus plus.
Yeah, we gotta go A plus plus. How was this your first live experience? I know you said this is the first live. I know it could be a little nerve wracking, you know. So, how did you how do you feel doing this?
I feel better now about it.
Right,
I feel much
right.
better now. At the beginning, it was, I don't know if it was like my internet connection or what, but it was tough for me to get connected. And then, like, it would keep pulling up a video of me trying to connect. And so I was like, okay, well, that's all out of the way. I've
Right,
completely messed this up. But
right.
okay, we did that now.
Absolutely, we did it. Well, I think this is a success. I kind of ran out of topics. We answered all the questions that I had. I feel like this was a great conversation. Um, most definitely, we got to do it again. You know, most definitely got to do it again. I feel like we had
Absolutely.
a lot of interactions in the comments. Shout out to everybody that came through. Most
Thanks,
definitely
y'all.
give us a follow if you're not following already. And did you have anything maybe you wanted to say to the people? Last words? Anything?
Yeah, I have one thing. On my
Okay.
page, I have recently I've posted like some of the moods of life and kind of ways that they can show up for people. So you can
Right.
kind of, if you know, are into that and maybe want to see what kind of mood you find yourself in often, because you can't shift anything around without kind of knowing where you are, right?
Right.
So those are like pretty like close on the top of my page, and they've got different. There's like wonder, anxiety. I'm really familiar with that one. I don't know about you. um, Peace and resentment are in there together. Resignation and ambition. Those are the six moods of life. So like
Okay.
how do you kind of like, how is it generated? What is some of the stuff that like we say when we're in that mood?
Right.
And what does it look like in your body? And so those are kind of like helpful little things to look at if you're looking to kind of just shift the way you show up, like for yourself. You can just check them
Right.
out. Oh,
So we
thanks,
can
y'all.
comments. Absolutely, absolutely. This was a success. This was a success. Very, very great informative information. Shout out to everybody that came through. Most definitely give Coach Marie a follow.
Oh, thank
Um,
you.
and we're gonna wrap it up like that. Talking growth, Coach Shig, we up out.
Thanks, Coach. Take care.
You too. You too.